Hi, I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures, where I'll be talking and reviewing action figures from different manufacturers. Today we're going to be having a look at another G.I. Joe Classic series figures. Of course, this is Recondo in the Classified line. Of course, as you know, this is my favorite boxing for the figures. I think it's neat to have a blister, a card, and if you turn it over, you have a file card who gives you his name and a lot of his information. So this I find really great, and I think they should really do that with the new ones, or if you can't want to do it for I would say technical reasons, due to the fact that you have to have in different languages depending in the countries you sell, should put the possibility to QR code, scan it, and it will bring you to the file card, and you enter the country you have, then you can get all the information. Now, of course, we're going to be diving into the history of this figure. So, of course, the original figure came out in 1984. This is my one from my private collection. As you can see, the art on the box is extremely similar. They did a few upgrades because the weapon is not totally the same. It's very highly inspired, and there's a bit of a different face mimic, because you can see he has a more open mouth on this one, but as you can see, the rest of the figure and the idea, the camo pattern, everything is very the same. Of course, as we can see, one of the great things I was already saying is that you get the file card. On this one you also get the file card. Now, I was a bit surprised about this figure because in his US form, he is called Leclerc Daniel, who's a very French name, and he's from Wheaton, Wisconsin. So, of course, my American friend collectors will know that that's up north. And thinking that this figure has more of a French name, I was thinking that maybe the guy was more down from Louisiana, Alabama, this kind of place, due to the fact that it's warmer, and would seem logic that somebody who likes jungle would be down there. Not saying people from the north don't like heat, but it seems more logic that he would have been down there. Or maybe he was somebody from Quebec and escaped Quebec to go and join the US. Now, of course, as a kid, I did not have this figure because this figure never came out in the G.I. Joe Real American Hero line that came out in Europe. It only came out in the Action Force version. Now, the Action Force version had him packed with a vehicle. So there was a neat little vehicle that was a canoe. And of course, I have the canoe loose somewhere in my hundreds of boxes. I haven't had time to sort out yet, but I will be doing a review of that when I will be getting there. But there was a neat little canoe who was given with it. It was originally an SAS canoe with a 5-point articulation figure, but he was not from Wheaton, Wisconsin. The Action Force version, due to the fact that it was international, he was born in Melbourne, Australia, who makes a lot of sense. Let's have a closer look at what we get with this figure. Of course, as you know, I am a mint in box collector, so this is my mint in box figure. So we're going to go with the pistol, his machete, of course the rifle with the removable clip. Something was really funny, it's not as bent as the one that you will get in the boxes with Flint and Recondo Tiger Force. You get the backpack with a little neat application for his sleeping bag or a blanket. Of course, you get the hat. And of course, you get the figure himself. So before having a closer look at the figure and talking about him, something on this box really didn't feel right. Of course, let's not forget the thing that should be included with every G.I. Joe Classified, a stand. They did it with the 25th anniversary. Cannot understand why for a small piece of plastic like this couldn't be included with every G.I. Joe Classified figure. Now, as I was saying, there's something that really hit me when I was looking at this figure, because I remember Lenny, during one of the presentations of the G.I. Joe figures coming out, did announce that all the retro line figures would be added an extra pair of hands. This guy doesn't have it. So, of course, Duke and Scarlet, who came in the same wave as this guy here, both have fist hands. This one doesn't get it. Really don't understand why they didn't add it, especially that Lenny was joking about that they wanted to give fist hands so that they could fight. So I guess that must be to bring back to the cartoon, where of course nobody dies. So that's going to be my little rant about this figure and not understanding why it was not given to him in the first place, like Lenny said. Now, also another thing to know about this wave, this is going to be the first wave of retro lines who is not going to be exclusive to Walmart. Now, I can hear my American collector friends going, yay, because we all know that with Walmart, you are lucky with the shipping. Am I going to get something totally banged up and packaged in a simple envelope, or I'm going to get a kind of a box and something more protected? So that's a good part, maybe not so good. We will have a look at that at the end of the video when I'm going to be talking about the value, but that's something who's really interested in. Now, of course, what we have to know also about it, due to the fact that it's going to be sold generally, so of course you can buy it from any shop that you want. It's the suggested retail price in the US is $24.99. In Europe, you're going to pay him €29.99. Of course, in Europe, we don't have much choice. If we want to pay it at the regular price, we have to go through Hasbro Pulse, as Hasbro does not sell these to regular shops around Europe. Now, of course, before looking into, how do we say, the equipment and gearing him up, I wanted to take a closer look at the head sculpt, who's pretty neat, pretty nice. There's a few good details, his compass. There's really some interesting designs. But if you look at the head sculpt, when I'm looking at it, this guy reminds me a lot of Kurt Russell. Now, I have purchased, because I have a project of building up some G.I. Joe in 12-inch. As you can see, there's a really big similarity in the way the hair goes, and the looks of it does look a lot like Kurt Russell. So this is something who's really interesting, because this is not the first time Hasbro has done a head sculpt who has a similarity with Kurt Russell. The other one is Lieutenant Falcon. I'll be talking about that one when we be doing the review for it. But I find it very strange that Recondo has a resemblance to Lieutenant Falcon, because if we base ourselves on the movie cartoon that came out, Duke is related to Lieutenant Falcon. So that's a little anecdote about it. So let's gear up this figure and let me tell you what I think about it. Of course, like I said, due to the fact that this is a retro line figure, this figure does really speak to me on this behalf. Now, of course, there's a little, if we can go about nitpicking on the figure, you could complain that the backpack doesn't have something to be able to attach the weapon to, because that's mostly what they've been doing with the new figures from the classified line. You can just hook them up. Of course, let's put the machete in, and you can see the figure really looks pretty neat when he's all geared up. So let's put this in here, and as you can see, he really looks pretty awesome. So, what are my thoughts about this figure? What is my general note on this figure? And also, do I believe this is a high-end collectible figure that he is worth purchasing and buying maybe a few extra ones to resell down the lane? Now, I'm going to be starting by my note. I would give this figure a 9 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10, due to the fact that we got a promise that we should be getting these extra hands that we're not getting. But otherwise, I mean, the thing is that it's retro. It looks like the one that came out in 1984. I have not much to say. The figure comes with the best carding that I think you can get. You get a file card, you get a stand. I mean, there's not much to complain about it. As I said, nitpicky. You could just have this little hook on the side of the thing to make the pistol, his rifle hold, but that's it. So that's why I'm going to give it an 8. 8 out of 10. Now, if I'm going to be talking about the value of this figure, now, of course, you're going to hear me talk a lot about the value. The higher value for the collectors would be the retro line packaging. Now, That would be true until this line here. The fact that this line is sold by every shop, this means there's a high chances, well, more than high chances, there's a chance that you're going to find this figure in clearance. He's going to go to your walls, to your, of course that's for America, otherwise it will be Winners in Canada, so or any kind of big discounter, because this figure is going to end up in clearance because it's sold more than what the regular figure is. Of course, you can pick it up when it goes in clearance, so you don't need to pay $24.99. Well, after it's for Europe, it's a bit different, but for North America, you can get this one in clearance. And due to the fact that it's going to be produced and more people are going to have it, I think that the collectible value of this figure is going to drop away because there's no incentive of buying it because it's an exclusive to Walmart. If I'm not saying Walmart would have not put him in clearance at the time, they always give some discounts, Black Friday, other reasons that they might give some discounts on the figure and that you can find them in clearance. We got that with Lady J Retro, Baroness Retro, Destro Retro, I think even Snake Eyes Retro, who's one of the hardest figure to find right now, who's already went up in value, was also on a slightly discount. I'm not saying they were selling them for $4, but mostly maybe 20, 22 instead of $24.99. It's not much, but it's always that to take. But as I said, this figure for me will not have such a high value collectible point as the two other ones and any future release in the retro line, due to the fact that it's going to be mass produced and distributed to all your favorite retailers or shops that you can get. So that's going to be it for my review of the Recondo Retro line from the G.I. Joe Classified series. If you did, I hope you liked this video. And if you did, please leave a like, share, comment in the section. If you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comment section. I will read all your comments. And you can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, where I post some pictures. I did some pretty neat pictures with Recondo outside, so you can check them up on my Facebook page. So I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!